Okay guys, I don't know how to say it, but I'll just say it. I bought my first Leica for 350 euros. Okay, this will be interesting. Hi guys, Jonathan here as usual, and yeah, the video that you just saw, I actually shot it, was more or less 1 week ago, when I actually bought my first Leica, that is this one, the Leica T Type 701, that probably you already know. And yeah, it's one of the most overlooked and cheap Leica cameras in general, I think. APS-C camera, 16 megapixel, and with this kit lens, the 18 to 56, the usual kit lens for APS-C cameras at least. And yeah, what can I say about it? First of all, little introduction to why I actually bought it. Okay, so what happened? I was like having this, I was walking around Lisbon city center with my girlfriend Claudia, and I don't know, we just stopped by this new shop that is called CEX, CEX checks, something like that. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but it's new. It's a new shop here in Lisbon, and I think that it's the first one in Lisbon or the second. I don't know, because I never saw it before actually. And it's a shop in which the people who work there sell basically tech stuff, for example consoles, video games, DVDs, music, CDs, stuff like that, and also cameras and lenses. And yeah, actually I didn't know this because I just decided to go inside the shop just to take a look, because it was the first time that I actually saw this shop, so I was just curious, just like that. And then I saw the camera area, the camera zone in the shop, and I decided to take a look because you know, when I find this kind of shops in general with used stuff, I always try to find like good deals for my Lumix gear, for Micro Four Thirds gear in general. So I always look for, I don't know, lenses or this kind of stuff. But this time there was like nothing for Micro Four Thirds, for the Micro Four Thirds world in general, and the only thing that I noticed was this, the Leica T, that I just knew. It was the first time actually that I saw it in real life. You know, I've just watched, like, actually before buying, before seeing it in real life, I just watched some reviews on YouTube. I happened to watch some reviews, and you know, I was just curious. I wanted to try it out, and I didn't even notice that the price was very inviting. I mean, usually Leica stuff is very, very expensive, as we all know, but this time it was, I bought it, as I said in the first video that you watched at the beginning of this video, I bought it for like 350, 360, something like that. Probably it was 360, yeah, body and lens together. And yeah, so as soon as I saw the price, I decided to try it out, because I was like, okay, that this might be a good deal, and this might be like a good occasion to try out this kind of stuff that I usually don't. Like, it's the first time actually that I use something from Leica, that I own some Leica stuff, you know. And so this was, in my opinion, it was a good occasion to have it, to try it, to make contents with it, and blah blah and stuff like this, and possibly to resell it, because I checked in that exact moment, I checked on Google how much was the entire kit worth, and it was like double the price. So yeah, I thought that in that moment, I thought that it was a good deal, and I still think that it was a good deal actually. And I had the opportunity to try this camera out during the last week, and I went out with it 3 or 4 times. I took some pictures, and yeah, I just wanted to talk about yeah, my overall experience with Leica, the first time that I'm using Leica in general, as I said. And another thing, I shot something for YouTube that I will show you. Probably it will be the next video that will come out on this channel with this Leica T, and it's not a review like this. I mean, this is not a review, it's just my experience shooting with this camera. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but it will be part of one of my favorite, my most important series on my channel. and I will shoot this format that you probably, if you follow this channel, you already know what I'm talking about. I will shoot an episode with this camera. I mean, I already shot it and I will upload it and you will see it. So apart from this, I had this camera for the last, I've been using it for the last week, and as I said, I went out with it sometimes, and I have some mixed feelings about it, honestly. I wrote down some pros and cons of this camera, and I just wanted to share my experience since it's the first time for me with Leica. And that's it basically. And actually it's the first time for me using a lot of stuff in this video. I mean, a blue LED light that I bought like the other week on Amazon, and I wanted to try it out. And I also bought this iPhone XS, and it's the first iPhone that I have, so right now I feel like, you know, those kind of rich YouTubers talking about stuff, even if like nothing changed in my life basically, but it's cool to shoot a video, to shoot this kind of videos talking about Leica and with the blue LED lights, and I don't know if you got the vibe like that. But jokes apart, guys, because as you know, I always try to keep things light, I always try to be 100% honest, I don't like this kind of BS in general. So yeah, let's get straight to what I liked and what I didn't like, about my Leica T. Okay, so first of all, the pros of this Leica T. The design, as you can see, it's a unique piece of metal, of metal. I don't know which kind of metal, don't ask me, but it's a unique piece of metal, and I really like the design. It's it's quite compact in general, not that compact, but still not that big, so it's usable in this sense, yeah. And yeah, the design is fantastic. It's a super cool object to watch. It's in general something that is something that looks cool when you are watching it, and owning it is a very, very cool experience in my opinion. And because, you know, it's like the design, it's like that, and guys, we all know. And this is this is one of the first good points about having this camera, the fact that it's like a camera, that the construction is solid, the build is solid, you can see the quality of this kind of cameras, and also the lens, even if it's a kit lens, the quality of it is, I can't say anything about it, because this camera, this combo in general looks very, very cool in my opinion. And so this is the first good point. Second good point, I really, really like the outcome in general. So the pictures that I actually took with this camera, every time that I went out with this camera during daytime, and keep this in mind, I really, really liked the outcome. I really appreciated the Leica colors, the Leica definition, the Leica quality in general is something that you can see through the images. And even though I edited them as much as I usually edit my normal pictures that I take with my Macro Four Thirds gear, I think that you can see that actually it's you can see this Leica quality. I could see it when I took the pictures, and I think that it's something that can be appreciated in general. So I was having big expectations, being the first Leica item that I use, and from the photography side, that is the most important side, I wasn't disappointed, because the pictures look really, really good in my opinion. I shot raw and edited the pictures, of course, and yeah, I really, really like the outcome. So second good point, for sure, that's it, 100%. And yeah, for the good points, it's more or less this. And honestly, they are important good points in my opinion, because the feeling, not the feeling, the look of the camera and the look of the pictures is something important to me in general, because it's a piece of gear, it's a mean to get to a final result, and if the mean looks good and the final result looks good, it's all good. So I don't know, these two good points in my opinion are really important, and yeah, that's it. But being 100% honest with you guys, as always, I want to talk about the reasons why I decided not to keep it, because at first when I bought it, I already knew that probably I would have sold it in general, because I don't know, I prefer to invest my money in my current Micro Four Thirds gear in general, to buy like other Micro Four Thirds stuff, by Lumix, by Olympus, especially by Lumix in this case. We'll talk about it later. And so I already knew it, but at the same time I was so curious, and I was like, maybe this Leica camera will change my mind and will make me shift from one type of gear, from one brand to another, even if Leica and Lumix work like this usually. So it wouldn't be that much of a shift, but considering the price and the famous brand that is Leica, it would have been much of a shift in general. So it wouldn't have been, but it would have been at the same time. So yeah, you got the point. So yeah, I was saying that I was curious and I decided to try it out, and there are some reasons why I decided actually to sell it in the end. And these reasons are basically the fact that, for example, I really like the shape and the overall look of this camera, but at the same time, the fact that it's a unique piece of metal in general makes the borders, the frames, you know, the corners of the camera very sharp. And in my opinion, this combined with the fact that the grip is not very deep, so if you have big hands, it always feels like it's slipping away. And yeah, this for the grip, and for the sharp corners it's a bit uncomfortable, because when you have it in shooting position like this, you always have your fingers like relying on this kind of frame, and it's very, very sharp. So yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable, to be honest. And we have to take these things in consideration when we go out with a camera and we keep it in our hands for like hours or stuff like that. So it's still important in my opinion. I mean, the camera looks very, very good, but at the same time, having it in your hands, like as for the shooting experience, is a bit different from its look, you know. So this is the first negative point that I found by this camera. The second negative point is about the kit lens. That, as I said before, it's I mean, you can see the quality, the build quality of the lens, but at the same time it's a very expensive lens for being a kit lens. And I don't know, honestly, from the pictures that I took and then checked and analyzed in general, I didn't analyze them that much, but like I took the pictures and I was watching, I edited them, so I took a look like that. So considering the pictures, I don't know, this lens was honestly nothing special. I mean, the pictures were good, but I think that it's because of the sensor, probably the electronic inside the camera and all of this stuff. But I don't know, honestly the lens looked a bit overpriced when I think of the price for the new and also for the used in this case. But it's Leica, so I don't want to talk that much about price, because we all know that it's a sort of elite brand in some ways, and this is one of the cheapest cameras, and its price says it all, because this camera alone, I think that new costs, only the body costs like 1,000 euros, something like that, because it's pretty old. It's like from 2014 probably, something like that, and it's still like pretty high price in my opinion for this kind of camera. And the kit lens is like 700 euros, I think, something like that, 800. So yeah, it's pretty expensive for what it is, honestly. But it's Leica, so we all know that, and we can go on with other points in general. Another negative point, another thing that I didn't really like about the camera is the very slow autofocus. And I know that a lot of people say, a lot of people already talked about this, but I happened to experiment it on my own, and honestly I found that in some situations, I will put some pictures here to show you, in some situations with very, very easy subjects, I mean isolated from the background and everything, the autofocus was struggling a lot in my opinion. And I'm used to shoot with Micro Four Thirds that is not known, is not famous for having like a very fast autofocus, so I know what I'm talking about when I talk about slow autofocus, and in this case I found it very, very slow, honestly. And yeah, that's more or less it, because there's only another negative point that I found, that is about the quality of the pictures taken at night, or as soon as the sun goes down, as soon as the light disappears. But you got the point. Because I noticed that I'm used to underexpose in some situations, because we all know that in some situations if we want to preserve some sort of light in general, we tend to underexpose, and I'm not used to raise the ISO that much. So in general I'm used to shoot in a way that my current system, Micro Four Thirds, allows me to do. And I know that a lot of people may not agree with this, because for a lot of people Micro Four Thirds is not ideal for low light, and I understand their point. But at the same time I found more difficulty in general. I found it harder to shoot with this camera with low light, even if it's an APS-C sensor camera, than I usually find with my Micro Four Thirds gear. And yeah, this because what happened basically, as soon as you slightly underexpose an image, and I noticed it because I noticed this kind of issue, and then I tried to expose the images correctly, and I noticed that it doesn't change that much, but still there is a lot of bending, a lot of noise in the shape of lines in general, of little squares or lines or whatever you call it. And yeah, this is a very unpleasant effect that you can't actually recover on your pictures, because it's not about noise, it's more of a sort of texture that is over the image, and you can't remove it. You have to take it as it is and just delete your pictures. But I will show you something here. And yeah, that's it. So for nighttime photography, evening time photography, for low light photography in general, I don't think that this camera is very, very good, to be honest. And I know, guys, before you write anything, that I was using a kit lens. I wasn't investing in this brand, in this sort of system, so I didn't buy like other lenses to try it out in a better way, maybe. I decided to stick with the kit lens because I was just trying out, so all my opinions are based on the fact that I used it with a kit lens. And things might change with a better lens, things will change for sure, but I try to keep as a negative point only the points that I thought that were related to the body more than the actual lens that I used with it. So also in this case I think that maybe with a faster lens maybe with a faster lens it would have been easier to shoot in low light, but still this kind of issue that I noticed, I think that is produced inside the camera. So yeah, you got the point basically. I don't think that it's the best option for low light photography. Another negative point that just came to my mind is the refresh rate that is a bit slow. I mean, when you take a picture you have to wait a bit before taking other pictures and stuff, but it's something that you can get used to in some ways. It's just that I'm used to have a pretty fast refresh rate and keep taking pictures in general and not having to stop. So that's another negative point that I didn't appreciate that much, because it slows down the entire process in my opinion. And last thing, but I don't want to consider it as a negative point, because I don't know if it's just maybe there are some people who actually appreciate this, and it's not even a negative point. For me personally, I didn't really like this, but I understand that as we are talking about the 2000s, as we are living in the 21st century in general, this that I'm about to say in general, I don't know why I'm keeping it this long. Still, this thing that I'm going to say is something that is modern in some ways, and it's related to our modern technologies, and it's the fact that basically there are no buttons. It's all touch screen on the back of the camera. As you can see, it's yeah, if you put it like this, it looks like a smartphone basically. I will open it so that you can see. Yeah, it's like this. And also to to see the preview of the pictures that you just took, you have to do it like this, to scroll down, and yeah, it's not the most, it's not the quickest thing. Sorry guys, I still have to learn how to use it. Yeah, okay, like this. So it's not the quickest thing to do in general if you want to quickly review the pictures that you just took. And yeah, I think that all of this stuff combined together slows the process down a bit, honestly. And yeah, the rest of the menu is like that. You scroll it to check it and to change the settings in general. So yeah, that's it basically. I don't know, maybe there are some people who will love this kind of system, the fact that it's all working like this, but I don't know, honestly. I think that other people like me will prefer using buttons in general. Not a lot of buttons, but still, you know, some buttons. And last thing, just before the conclusion of this video, is the fact that I wanted to shoot a short film, a short cinematic film. The issue here is that I tried doing this with this camera, but honestly the video feature of this camera are not enough to shoot something like this, and I will put some examples here, as you can see. So you can see this because the camera doesn't shoot 4K, and it's fine because it's a pretty old camera, so it's normal, I mean, but still you can't even choose the frame rate. You have to choose between Full HD and normal HD, and I mean the autofocus, as I said, is not that good. The Full HD is just Full HD 30 FPS, and it's good. I don't mean that the frame rate is not good. I intended to shoot at 30 FPS, so that was good. The fact that you can't actually choose the frame rate is not good in my opinion. But in this case I wanted to shoot at 30 FPS, so that would have been good if the result was good. But the videos are, in my opinion, not enough, honestly. And the video feature, even if I know that these Leica cameras are 99% photography cameras and 1% video cameras, and probably something less, but at the same time, honestly, at this point I would have rather took it away from the camera if I was Leica. If I was the actual brand, I would have took it away because it's pretty useless, honestly. I mean, the video features in general are pretty useless in this camera. But yeah, apart from this, these are all the points that I considered, that I took in consideration in general for this camera, because I wanted to, you know, I wanted to use it as much, and I mean, I had it for like 1 week, so it's not that much. I don't have that much of experience with it, but still I noticed this kind of, I don't know, this kind of good things and bad things that led me to the conclusion that in general I wouldn't trade my current gear, my current Micro Four Thirds gear, for this kind of Leica system. Maybe the other systems, I mean the M series, the Q series, the CL series, I think that it's another series, maybe they are better, and probably they are, in my opinion. I think so, at least. But the Leica T system, I don't know, is good for some things, as I said, but also bad for other things. And this whole thing in general is a bit unbalanced towards the negative points for me, but it's my own experience. So guys, feel free to let me know. Yeah, just to conclude the video, feel free to let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts about this camera, if you ever used it, if you have like other cameras. I don't know, what's your opinion about this whole hype in general, because I don't know, I felt a bit disappointed by this camera, and but I would like to try out some other Leica stuff. If I hope that I will have this opportunity in the future to find like good deals like this, and to experiment with some other Leica cameras or lenses. I hope so. Maybe this will happen, maybe not, but maybe yes. So yeah, To conclude, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'm just going to spoil this to you that I will sell this camera during this week, and I will buy a lens. I already talked about this lens in this channel, and probably some of you already know what I'm talking about, but I'll talk about it when it comes. So guys, stay tuned and see you in the next video. Bye guys!